Okay, so if Dennis is on his back now then. So the same thing then. So as I've come for the knee slice, I've lost I really want that underhook. Then I don't have to do any back stepping. But if I lose the underhook, yeah, I take a big back step. Yeah. Well, as soon as I fall, yeah, I don't want my head away. As soon as I fall, I don't want to get pushed away. So as soon as I fall, my head stays down. Yeah. So it's really important my head's low, and I've got this I pull my elbow backwards and put pressure under the jaw. Now I can start shrimping and my head stays low. It's hard for Dennis to hold that now, because the more pressure I put here, the harder it is because his body's torqued. I hold on to the trousers, head stays low, and then I kick out, and then I've got a good position, and I can either come back into a side control, or you can start smashing the legs and come up on top. Okay, so that's the main thing. That's the main pass, or you're forced to do that if you lose the underhook when you're knee slicing. Okay, so if Dennis is on top here, I get the underhook, and Dennis does a back step. Yeah, so when he back steps now, so I don't want, even if this is tight, I want to look to the ceiling. Yeah, so I can't look that way, so I don't want my knees going to here. That's horrible. Okay, so the first thing, I make sure I go near the little finger, the knuckle, and I break this grip. Yeah, now I don't want Dennis's knee coming to the floor. So it's everything we just did, I want to stop. So I move my hip I keep moving my hip, so I'm hip to hip. Yeah. To stop his knee coming, I can stamp my foot over Dennis's foot. Yeah. I also like to hide the foot underneath, and I stamp, because it puts pressure on the knee, and I stay hip to hip. Yeah. So it doesn't hurt. I'm not hurting his knee. If Dennis hurts his knee, Dennis is hurting his own knee. I'm just holding his leg here, hip to hip. Now I can grab on the outside. Yeah, and my sweep here is I put my foot on the floor, hook underneath, and then I kick, and then I come up on top. Okay, yeah. The sweep is just the end bit. One of the most important is the details before. Okay, so here, when Dennis back steps, my heel comes to my bum, and I hide my foot. So that stops me getting into saddle if you're doing no-gi. Yeah, and now I can stamp on the foot, and I keep moving hip to hip. Yeah, I'm not bothered. This crossface is okay. It doesn't bother me if my knees are pointing to the ceiling. The crossface is bad if Dennis pulls. Now this is bad. Yeah, but if I hide my foot and my hip points to the ceiling, I grab onto the leg. If his knees pointing to the ceiling, then I can switch my hook, and then I can flick. If Dennis pulls his knee to the floor, now when I try and flick, that it goes, and then Dennis moves his hip a little bit, and then I don't have the sweep. Okay, so I want to hide this foot first, and then I go hip to hip. Yeah, so now I change my hook, stamp my foot, and then I sweep. Okay, yeah. The hiding this foot is important, because if Dennis at the start, when Dennis back steps here, I don't want him, going for a knee bar. Yeah, here, and trying to attack my leg or get into a saddle. Yeah, just come back. So at the start, if you watch this foot, see how it hides. So I've hidden underneath, and then I can start stamping. I keep hip to hip, grab onto the trouser leg. Here, this hand pulls onto Dennis's hip, so he can't move his hip away, and then the knee stays here. Switch my hooks, and then I have my sweep. It's okay?
You understand?
There we go, perfect, yeah. And then your hip comes down. You can sit your hip to the floor, yeah. Now, this is your crossface here. Yeah. You can grab underneath. You can grab on top of the legs, and then you're going to move your hips backwards. That's it, and pull the knees this way. Okay. But then you want this pressure onto the neck, yeah. Yeah. Now this is perfect. Now this foot can kick them. So, same position then. So I don't end up in a leg lock position. My top foot kicks back to my bum here, and as Dennis back steps, I hide it underneath his foot. Yeah. Now, this is okay, it still works. If I stamp on the foot and put my feet to the floor, Now it just, I can kind of bridge and it creates a little bit of pressure. Just until I get my grips, yeah? So it's Dennis holds here, because that's a good grip for him, because that'll make the crossface worse if he can scoot away. So I break the grip near the hand, and I'll move the hand like I want to do something this way, yeah? When Dennis kind of pulls back a bit, I push, and then I feed it to my other hand, yeah? So I've got an under, this is really bad for him now, yeah? So if I grab here, and Dennis, even if I don't use my hooks, just stay on top. Yeah, I can just kind of push him back, yeah. But if you're doing exactly the same sweep, once I switch here, it's very hard for him to put pressure forward now, yeah. So now I can start kicking, and because I've got this underhook grip, you're in a much better position now coming up on top. You can do fancy stuff like the ball and chain armbar and lots of other things from there, but that grip's going to make everything easier, yeah. Because I've got short arms, sometimes it's difficult, so I hide my foot again, pull down. Yeah, I always want to break this grip. I don't want this grip pulling. So when I grab near the little finger, yeah, and then I rotate it, and I'll try, this hand goes as deep as I can, yeah, and I'll pull it, and when he pulls back, I push back, and then get that underhook, yeah, in that position. Now, because I've got this grip, the sweep doesn't have to be very good now, because it's very hard. If Dennis puts pressure forward, it's hard, you know. I can nearly just do, you know, and come up on top, yeah. But if we do it the correct way, the power is this foot. I stamp here, and then I kick. Yeah, and now, because I've got this, because I've got an underhook now, it's hard for him to build up to a turtle. I'm in a much better position with this. Yeah. Is that okay? Very similar to the last one. Or if you've got short arms, yeah, then it's more difficult, yeah. Or, you know, so...
If you've got a problem practicing it because someone's wide and you've got short arms, give me a shout and I'll change you around so you can have a go, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to give that a go a few times. You can probably kick, and you know, at the bottom, just kick this foot out now. Yeah, you can use this to kick maybe there. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to hold. The more cross-face pressure you put, the worse it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just one other detail from the previous technique, when Dennis backsteps, if I don't hide this foot, sometimes Dennis hugs here. Yeah. Now I can't sweep because this is my power foot. This is the foot that helps me sweep. So this is hard. If Dennis lets go, then I can stamp my foot and that gives me the sweep. So if he holds here, this is difficult. I need to wait until this grip goes. But remember when we started, I switched hooks here. Now if Dennis hugs, see how it's hard for him to hug because my heel is next to my butt. So this makes it, and it stops you getting into leg locks, and it stops saddle, and it stops the hook in the leg. So now when I change, it's hard for Dennis to hug. You know, like to get underneath, it's too late, then it can go. Yeah? Okay? The other, see how Dennis's knee here, his foot's out, and his knee's this way. Yeah, so that's going to give him a base. That's really important for this position. So when we do this, don't fall. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when I do this now, it's sometimes, see how he's basing. Yeah. So my leg goes all the way through. Yeah. And then I put a back heel. Yeah. And then I get my lockdown. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it shouldn't hurt the knee. In this position, I'm not trying to hurt the knee, I'm just trying to get this lockdown position. The advantage now is when I start to come up on top now, yeah, I've got very good control now. Yeah. If Dennis starts to move or scramble, you know, I've got very good control. The other position here, when I sweep here and he goes, then he turtles fast, and then you know, now this isn't as good. Because if he scrambles up to his feet, I don't get points, and it's a lot more energy. If you get to the lockdown position, it's much slower, and you're in a much more dominant position on top, and it's easy to get a guard pass after. Yeah. So, as Dennis backsteps, I hide my foot again. Come to here. Yeah. See how his knee is pointing this way. Yeah. So sometimes as I go, he's not. So I kick it all the way through. Yeah. My heel pulls back, yeah. And now I get a lockdown. This is okay on his knee now. It's not, yeah. Now, I don't want Dennis's knee, are you flexible, coming to the floor this side. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Also, if Dennis comes up on top, I don't want Dennis getting an underhook here and burying his head, because now that's bad for me. Okay, so when he comes back, yeah, I make sure I keep this knee. This knee stays in. I can pull the arm back, and then I come up on top. My head goes to the other side. Yeah, now it's super easy to get a guard pass from this position. Yeah. Up.
Again.
One. So from the half guard, I hide my foot. I pull in with my hip to hip. I've got the grips. If Dennis grabs, I break this grip. I maybe try and feed it. Yeah, if I can't reach, so when I kick, that foot is his base. That's important, because when I kick now, see how he comes up? So I kick my leg all the way through. Okay, now I do a back heel. Yeah, and then I get a lockdown. I want to stay in. I don't want to be here. I want to stay in front of the hip. Yeah, so the knee can't come back through. Yeah. Now, slowly I come up on top. Yeah. Now I've got control of the legs, control of the hips, control of the upper body. This is way more powerful than side control. It's very hard for Dennis to move now. Yeah. Now I can sprawl the leg out, weave, and then I can come round to side control here. Yeah, I'm holding here, so if he turns away, you know, I've got good control and I can stop him turning away. Yeah. Is that okay, guys? Yeah. Do you want to give that a go a few times?